My career as a sponsored skater began in 1986 at Mount Trashmore Park in Virginia Beach, Virginia, when I was discovered skating in the parking lot by one of my skateboard heroes, Lance Mountain. On a Thursday afternoon, I was skating with some of my buddies in town at one of their houses. We were skating in the driveway, and I said, you know what, man, it's Thursday. I bet you some of the pros are in town over at Trashmore practicing right now. Everyone's like, yeah, you know, they might be. So we hopped in the car and we drove over, parked in the lot, came up, sat down at the bleachers and watched the guys skate in the vert ramp, which used to be out there. We watched them skate for a bit, but we were so excited, so freaked out that it was happening. We couldn't contain ourselves, so we got off our asses off the bleachers, walked over here, and right about here we started skating ourselves, just doing hand plants. And I did a ho-ho plant right here, and I heard this clapping coming from the vert ramp, just this slow kind of. And I look back and I see Neil Blender standing on top of the vert ramp, clapping his hands like this, and then pointing at me. And I go, oh my God. And my buddies are like, dude, Neil Blender is pointing at you, he's clapping. I go, what do I do? What do I do? I go, just keep skating, man, keep skating. So I kept doing all my tricks, and within a few minutes he had taken his pads off and he started walking over here, and he came up to us and introduced himself and just started rapping with us a little bit. And asked me to do some more tricks for him, so I just kept doing tricks, and he started asking me, can you do this, or show me something I haven't seen. And I just went through pretty much my whole repertoire of tricks at the time, and he was laughing and clapping his hands and shaking his head like he couldn't believe what he was seeing. And I didn't really understand why he was reacting this way to my skating. I figured that everything I was doing was what was being done in California, or, you know, I remember saying to him, aren't the guys in Venice, aren't the Dogtown guys doing these tricks? I mean, you know, what's the big deal? And he said, no, I've never seen anybody do these tricks. I've never seen anyone skate the way you skate. Meeting Neil would have been the greatest moment of my skateboarding life if I hadn't met Lance Mountain the next day and gotten sponsored by Powell Peralta. Having Lance kind of take me in, he took me in over the weekend basically. He gave me his board first of all, which he just pulled. My board was in such bad condition. He just couldn't believe that I was doing these tricks on this board. He couldn't believe that I was actually even skating this board at this point. So without any hesitation, the guy just opened the trunk of his car and just pulled out a brand new skateboard and gave it to me, complete setup. And that was probably the greatest moment of my skateboard life. My skating at Trashmore that weekend would go on to be documented in Thrasher magazine, with a cover shot serving as my introduction to the skateboard world. After talking to Lance about it several years later, it was having an original style and doing my own tricks that no one had seen before. That's what they were looking for. That is why they wanted to sponsor me. I don't like to use the word proud too much, but I am proud that I had my own thing going at an early age. Even at 16, my skating was my skating, and I am glad to say that the day I got sponsored, I came in as an individual, and that means a lot to me.